Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you've been here for a minute, you've seen this before, but today we're going to take an in-depth look at the Mac 2 Tradesman in collaboration with Agency Arms to find out if this really is the best home defense shotgun. So let's head on over to the workbench and let's take a look. Okay guys, we're up close and personal with the Mac 2 Tradesman. And before we get too far into the weeds on this thing, I'm going to kind of break down what it is, how it came to be, and then we'll go tip to butt on the stock accessories versus what I've put on it. And then I can give you my overall review based on what I've experienced with it now, being just over 200 rounds in, kind of a first impressions and a first impressions with the accessories. So we'll start off talking about just what is this and how did it come to be. Hey guys, before we get back to that video, I just wanted to hop in and tell you about Kwick Strike, the best rapid deployment firearm system for your vehicle that you can get. It is the greatest solution to a problem that nobody ever talks about. Quick, easy, fast access to your firearm when you need it the most in your vehicle. No fumbling around, no trying to find it, no trying to get it around the seatbelt or out from underneath your gut while you're in your car. This is the way to go, guys. I've dropped a video about this on my page. Go check that out. But if you want to save some money on one of these, go check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment below, or use my code NativeMarksman10 at checkout. Kwick Strike, guys, again, the best quick, rapid deployment system for your firearm in a vehicle. This thing is absolutely goated. Go check them out, Kwick Strike. Use my link, code NativeMarksman10. Now, let's get back to this video. So this is the Mac 2 Tradesman, Max meaning Military Armament Corporation. They are a brand underneath SDS Arms, who is an importer of Turkish weapons. So this is a Turcanelli, if you will. It is a Benelli M2 clone, obviously imported in by SDS Arms and Military Armament Corp, or MAC. And then once they've got it over here, they send it over to Agency Arms, and they've done a whole bunch of stuff too, which we will break down as we get a little bit further down. But that's generally how it came to be. It was a partnership between Military Armament and Agency Arms, taking their regular Mac 2 semi-auto shotgun and turning it into something incredible with Agency Arms. Okay, so moving along, going tip to butt here, as you can see, this is not the original tube that was on the shotgun when I received it. If you've seen some of my shorts on this video, you've seen that it looks a little bit different than this. This is a Sure Cycle +3 extension tube. Because this is an imported shotgun, it only comes with a 5+1 capacity. Of course, you can ghost load as well, but imports, you can't have anything more than that. So it was a false tube here. So I went ahead and swapped that out. I did have a little bit of issue in swapping that out, mostly because of the follower. The follower that came with the Sure Cycle tube did not fit. It got about halfway down this tube and got stuck. So I popped it back out, ran back in with the factory follower, and everything seems to be working fine. So looking at the top here, this barrel clamp here also came from Sure Cycle. I'm not going to keep this. I don't love it, but for the time being, that's what I'm going to run with. Right up here, we have a vent rib ported barrel. So it's very nice. You get a red fiber optic up front. No back rear iron on this, but it is a shotgun. I mean, you do need sights on it, but as a stock configuration, you don't get the back irons, but you do get these nice ports on both sides, as you can see. Super nice. Definitely helps with recoil mitigation. It's still a shotgun. You're still getting some of that kick, but that does help out a ton. Move down a little bit further. I do have a Surefire light on here that's pretty new. I'm kind of testing this out. I've never had a Surefire light, and I'm kind of seeing how this works. Got a little pressure pad over here. Nothing too crazy. Pretty simple one, but Surefire is Surefire. I'm sure it's going to be great. Here, if you can see behind some of these other accessories I have, this is Agency Arms M-Lock rail. This thing is a pretty excellent rail, especially to come on the shotgun. I didn't have to put this on here. It is, I mean, you've got, let's see, I guess a quarter slot, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think another quarter. No, just 4. So you've got 4 full slots and then a quarter slot. And guys, they wrap all the way around. I mean, you can have accessories for days on this guy if you want. This rail is pretty legit, and I'm really happy that Agency Arms put that on there instead of having something basic, just like a wooden piece or even just like a 3-sided rail, whatever it may have been. So moving on down here now, I've got a Magpul, just regular hand stop here. This isn't anything crazy. I picked this up at Bass Pro. I've thrown this on several different ARs and really loved it. So I knew I would like it on here. It's perfect for me. This little shell holder here is really funny. This is I mean, you can see how kind of difficult it is to get that shell out of there. So I'm going to have to work it in a little bit more. But this is just a shell holder I picked up off of Amazon. I just kind of wanted to test some stuff out with this. It will loosen up. That shell's been in there for several weeks now, but it's just a pretty simple little shell holder, nothing too crazy. Did not come with M-LOK screws, but thankfully I had some around, and so I just had those holes. So, I mean, you are getting a cheap plastic little shell holder, so eventually that will go away, but for the time being, it worked perfectly for what I needed. I'm keeping that shell there. All right, now we're getting into the meat of everything here on this whole frame portion of the shotgun. So, like I said, this is just the Mac 2. However, it was sent to Agency Arms and they've done a lot. So we've talked about the rail. They've added their extended bolt release, and this thing is crazy. This thing is awesome. I mean, it's super big. You can see there, it's pretty good size bolt release, super easy to hit as well. They've added their own bolt carrier group as well. I'm calling it a bolt carrier group. I don't know if that's exactly right, but they have their M2 charging handle, which is super nice, super easy to get a hold of. And I mean, that, look, listen how smooth that is. That thing is smooth as butter. It's got their enlarged loading port. They have their own agency lifter back here. You can see it's got their little logo on it too. Everything's coated well. It's super nice and it stays pretty clean considering I've kind of run some dirtier rounds through it. It's it's pretty great. I mean, Agency Arms really did a good job on this shotgun. I really just tuned it up a little bit, fine tuning it, getting it to a point that it's reliable straight out of the box. You know, I haven't tested a basic Mac 2. I'd like to, but as it stands right now, this is an excellent shotgun, even without all the extra accessories that I've added. All right, next we've got a drilled and tapped receiver that I threw a Monstrum tactical pick rail on. I went back and forth on doing a pick rail or a direct mount with the optic. I decided to go pick rail just because I wasn't sure how I felt about this optic yet. If I wanted to keep it on a shotgun or even move it over to a handgun, because that's kind of what it is. Can use for both. But this is the Vortex Venom 6 MOA dot enclosed emitter. It's a really nice dot. I can't really get the angle right to show you the dot, but you've got your power buttons, your plus minus there, side battery. It's got all the good bells and whistles that you love, shake awake, all that good stuff. But like I said, they do make an attachment here, this, Vortex specifically, to go straight onto a drilled and tapped receiver. I may end up doing that. And so because I was a little bit up in the air on whether or not I was going to keep this on a shotgun or move it to a pistol, I decided to go with a pick rail. It still works fine for me. The optic sits up significantly higher than it would if it wasn't on a pick rail, but for the time being, this is great for me and it seems to work just fine. So moving right along, a little bit further down, you've got the standard crossbolt safety. Nothing crazy, but Agency Arms did that up. That's a pretty nice button there. Nice and small on this side, and then super big, super tactile there. And then finally, one of my favorite parts about the shotgun is this grip texture here on the stock. You can see that. It's very grippy. It wraps all the way around where your hand's going to be. I love handle it grips, and I was honestly considering putting some on here until I got a hold of this thing. That grip texture is excellent. Moving down a little more, you've got two QD points for a stock on either side. Nice little rubber pad. So, pretty standard stock. Other than that grip, that stuff is pretty great. All right, so my final thoughts, guys, on the Mac 2 Tradesman. Like I've said, I've put about 200 rounds, just over 200 rounds through this gun so far, and I've really enjoyed it. This is my first semi-automatic shotgun I've ever owned. The only shotguns I've ever owned in the past are pumps or over-unders. I used to shoot competitively in high school and college, trap shooting, sporting clays. So I never really got into the semi-auto shotgun world because you could only have one at a time. So this is a whole new kind of learning curve for me. Swapping followers out, getting different tubes, all this stuff. Like, yeah, I did some of that on pumps, but nothing to this magnitude of a semi-automatic shotgun. And it's taken some getting used to, even loading it, ghost loading, don't even ask. I've not figured that out just yet. That's completely new to me. So I'll cross that bridge at some point. But with being 200 rounds in, I did a lot of different rounds. I did like 25 of each different shell that I could find. I had a few issues with just some basic birdshot that I would trap shoot with, but that's a pretty low powered round. I kind of expected that. This to me is a home defense shotgun. So you're going to be using home defense rounds in here, which are a little bit hotter, to say the least. They pack a little bit bigger punch than what a birdshot round would be. This is a birdshot round. And this is in a state. I don't even know if they make these anymore. This round, guys, full transparency, I had this round when I was in high school. I had a box of these left from when I was shot competitively in high school. And I tried to run them through there. They didn't work. I didn't really see any states anywhere when I was looking for ammo anyway. So I don't even know if a state exists anymore. But it didn't cycle these well. It cycled them probably every other one it would have an issue with. But again, very low powered round, strictly for sporting clays or trap shooting. So not really what I would expect to be working flawlessly through this gun. But and guys, I do, as a home defense shotgun, I really think this setup is perfect. I think Agency Arms did an excellent job in its stock configuration to where you don't even have to a flashlight for home defense. Yeah, you probably want one of those, but you don't need this shell holder. You don't need this grip. You don't need an optic on it. Guys, this thing is rock solid from the factory, from agency arms. That bolt is so smooth and so nice. Just I can sit there and listen to that thing all day. It's like the pump action sound that everybody talks about. This is better. This bolt release is excellent. I mean, obviously the accessories they make it. They make it look cool. They make it a little bit more functional, but it's an excellent shotgun, guys, and I don't think I would trade it for anything. This shotgun has been a good time, and I'm not just saying that. Not just saying that because I got it from SDS or Mac. It's legitimately it's my favorite shotgun that I've owned in a long time. Um, Again, I wouldn't use it for what I used to use shotguns for, but it definitely is in the home defense category for me, especially with the extra accessories. So, guys, I mean, what do you think? Do you want to see me do a full 1,000 round review of the shotgun? I would love to do that. It would take me a little bit of time, but I would be more than happy to do that. So, if you guys want to see more of the Mac 2 Tradesman, I know I've kind of had it around a lot on my shorts and on my Instagram channel, but if you guys want to see more of this, let me know. If you want to see range footage with this stuff, I didn't unfortunately have all the stuff during some of the range footage that you guys saw, but I have gone out recently and done some. I just didn't get around to recording it. But what do you think? You guys want to see a full 1,000 round review of the Mac 2 Tradesman, or do you want me to just do that on my own time and kind of let you know in a short? Fully up to you guys. I'd love to know what you think. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to know every time I drop a video. I'm trying to do once a week. YouTube is new for me. If you guys want to go check out my Instagram, that's where I do a ton of stuff. If you want to check out any links, I've got discount codes for Kwick Strike. You can see here, Magnalense. You can see here. They've got some really great stuff. I know I had an ad in this one for one of those too. But guys, again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Mac 2 Tradesman, and comment down below if you want to see a full 1,000 round review of the shotgun. And maybe we'll put it through its paces in some home defense situations, some home defense drills, things like that. So let me know, guys. What do you think? Is this the best home defense shotgun?